What is up, gamers? In this video, we will be shell swapping a customer's Nintendo DS. It works great. The R shoulder button does not work. Pretty interesting shell swap. It's wood grain outside and then transparent red inside with wood grain buttons and whatnot. This will be really cool to get into. But first and foremost, we gotta disassemble this guy. Let's see how quick I can do it. Wow, that only took 1.8 seconds. So let's get all of these old shell parts out of here. Yeah, this screen is in really nice shape. So I'll definitely be using this screen and we can begin assembly, but it's a big but, you guys, okay? But we are going to prep a couple of things. First, we gotta prep the whole extreme rate shell. There are some stickers and things that we need to put in place before we assemble the whole shell. So I will do that. This is just a bunch of boring stuff, and I included in pretty much every of my shell swap videos. So let's see how quick I can do this. Wow, that only took 1.8 seconds. So the next thing to do, I'm going to install our new digitizer onto the bottom screen. This will make it look like new, and it'll make it work like new as well, the touch aspect of it. 1.8. And now we need to fix and modify the motherboard. Now I've already gotten the R shoulder button fixed up, but now I'm going to clean these button contacts to make sure they work like new for years to come. So we'll get this cleaned up, and then I'm going to modify the green power LED to be blue. I will remove the green power LED. I will add solder to the pads. And now we will come in with our blue LED, and we'll slap that thing on. Alright, so we'll come in with our battery, make sure it works. Looks awesome. And then when I remove the battery, the red one should flash. Let's get our bottom LCD attached, and then we can go ahead with reassembly. So we can set that off to the side, and now we can come in with our top shell piece and our top screen and plug it in. Well, do the loop-de-loop. Make sure this metal cylinder is in here. You absolutely need that. And then get it through while trying to hold the metal cylinder in place while getting this cable through. There we go. And now our mic, make sure it's dust free. Set it in place and get it through this cable here. And our Wi-Fi antenna, same thing. Alright, and now we have our speaker rings. They go in here. They prevent rattles, thus preventing the speakers from vibrating and having really weird high-pitched sounds. So these speaker rings are definitely necessary. And now we can just go in with our LCD, make sure our speaker cables are routed properly. So I like to pull this just like I did. And we'll make sure the screen, man, look how cool that looks. Speaker rings fell out when I did that. I am a professional, guys. And set the speaker in place. Make sure its cables are routed properly, just like that. And then same for this one. Alright, so now I'm going to clean the top LCD. Make sure it's spotless. And then we can go in with this shell piece that I have prepped. And snap it on. Make sure everything is straight. And then slide it just like that. So now this is on Coolio. Now we'll set this here. And now we have this piece. So we'll get the cables through this hole. And then I like to stand up the top half while I can get our ribbon cable through that slit, and then goes right on. And we'll make sure it clicks into the right position. There we go. Perfect. So now we can put that on and get our two hinge screws in place. So we'll see the hinge. Works fantastic. Now I'll set the DS this way and get our microphone cable routed. Okie dokie. So now we can get our buttons out and get them all in place. And as with most of my shell swaps, or pretty much all of them, I like to use the original Nintendo membranes. They work better with the extreme rate buttons. Now I'm going to use the Extreme Rate Start and Select rubber pad because it makes Start and Select feel very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Mucho nice-o. I don't know Spanish. Like a dust right there. Go in with our motherboard and attach our top screen cable. Just like that. Fold the board down. Get it on. Gonna get this cable underneath the cartridge slot and try to perform some black magic.
Hi, how are you?
There we go. Now I can plug our Wi-Fi chip and then get it plugged into our Wi-Fi chip. Now I'm gonna get 2 motherboard screws in and we'll turn it on and see what happens. Whoopsies. I'll tell you what happened. I forgot the LED diffuser. I am a professional, guys. The D-pad does not feel the greatest, so I will replace that, and obviously we need our LED diffuser. Really, really cool blue LED. Look at that, man. Okay, that is really cool. That's really cool. The contrast with the red is just awesome. Still got a lot to do. So for the L button, I trim every single one because they have issues. They tend to get stuck and they don't click right, so I cut it right along here. Alright. And then I sand it along the whole cut to make it nice and smooth. And while it may not be as good as factory, it is as good as factory, so we are ready to continue with assembly. So let's get these metal rods for the shoulder buttons in place, both on the right and left side. So now I'm going to go in with the R shoulder button first, because now that we trimmed L, we'll want to do it last. So let's get R in place here. Okay, and now for L, we need something heavy to hold it in place, which I use my tape dispenser for. Get the spring in there. Get it on, and now that I trimmed it, it's just constantly spring loaded. There's nothing keeping it in place. So that's when I put my tape measure there. Or not my tape measure, my tape dispenser. And now we can come in with our bottom plate that I have prepped in an impressive 1.8 seconds. So let's get it this way. We'll make sure that the power switch is down. Make sure that the volume switch is down. Make sure that these switches are down. This one should always be down. If it's not, you have a problem. And let's get our bottom plate on. Can move our tape dispenser, and let's get a couple of these Phillips screws in place. And then pop the battery in and test it. So even with that screw in place, we can see L clicks beautifully and it springs perfectly. I've had this wooden shelf for such a long time. I'm happy to finally use it, and this is really, really cool. I mean, look at that, dude. And then bam, blue LED. Look how crisp the blue LED is. I love that. Top screen works flawless. Now, one thing I will do, I'm going to take our digitizer that was just in my trash can and remove this border, and I'm going to install it right on top of the bottom LCD. You might be like, well, Retro Revolution, it's not your DS. Why would you do this? They can take it off anytime. It is simply right on top here. And I think it ties the whole DS together. Like that versus that, I think it really ties the DS together. That is an opinion though, and if my customer would ever like to remove it, then strip it up just like I did. So let's get this system set up. Man, the D-pad is great. It would not be feeling as good as it is if we used the Extreme Rate buttons. The ABXY is honestly totally fine if you ever want to use those. Still, I like to use Nintendo's just because sometimes old reliable is better than aftermarket. So we can get these 4 screws in. We got those in place. I'm going to go back around town under here, and we will get our Extreme Rate sticker on. Bam, bam. As straight as possible, like always. Now we can come in with our Y screws. Okay, and then our battery door. Go right on. with our battery door screw. This is looking good. So now, as far as the rubber pads, they are the last things I need to install, and I'm going to be including a full set of the opposite pads that I install in case they would ever like to replace the pads. So we can see I have all 6 types of pads here. So the way I always do it, I always do the inverse. So I'll be installing the brown wooden ones up here, and then the red clear ones on the bottom. But if they'd ever like to change that, then they always have the option to. Okay, there are the brown ones. I think that looks really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And we have the red stylus port, red power switch, red volume switch, and now we will have a red GBA slot cover. And there we have it. This guy is officially complete. This is so cool. Let's get the touchscreen calibrated. This looks so real, dude. Like holding this and just looking at it, even through the camera, not even through my eyes, but through the camera. This is just awesome. And the blue LED looks so sick too. Like this is a pretty unique shell combination, but I love it so much. It goes together really well in my opinion. Touchscreen works flawlessly. The GBA slot cover is slightly loose. Like with minimal effort, it does that. So I'm going to add a PCB from a donor GBA slot cover. So here's our donor PCB. Get it cleaned up, and I will take this back apart, put the PCB in just like that. I should really do this with all shell swaps. I just don't have enough of them to do it with each swap. Cool, so there's that. Now it will fit perfectly. Wonderful. We'll make sure it can read games perfectly before I let it go. But from there, I'll send photos of it to my customer, make sure he likes it, make sure he likes all the shell pieces and everything. Read the DS game, read the GBA game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a big thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe for more. I have really cool shell swaps already on the channel, and there's going to be a lot more to come. If you like the content, stick around. If you have any suggestions for shell colors that you'd like me to combine, let me know. I love Extreme Rate shells, and I'll do any of their colors. If you'd like your own custom system, I will drop a link in the description. You can make whatever system you would like. I make them built to order, so there will be a link in the description for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.